market analyst on behalf of CFDs.com, a leading spread betting and CFD brokerage. If you'd like to know more about services and free products, just visit the website www.cfds.com. Also visit the actual educational page too, which is www.cfds.education. I certainly update my charts and analysis on there daily. Okay, so where art thou? Okay, so in terms of the actual markets, let's try and give you a summation of the chronological events of today in terms of price action and obviously news flow as well. Okay, so the Asian markets overnight managed to recover. The obviously main concern was China. The Hang Seng up 3.5%, the Shanghai up almost 6%, and the Nikkei up more than 0.5%. So Asian markets finally stabilized, and that obviously set a platform for a potential rally higher. Now I was long overnight and I managed to close, and I didn't expect the rally to continue the way in which it did in European markets, which was quite impressive. As you can see, the FTSE up by 1.4%, the DAX by almost 2.5%. Obviously, even the Athens markets up as well. So certainly even the Euro stocks and the CAC as well. So CAC almost 3%, almost. I mean, pretty impressive. So, and also the Euro stocks almost 3%. So very, very impressive short squeeze in the European markets. Now, that was mainly due to several factors. Number one, the German data actually came out stronger than expected. And we also had talk, or there was something going on in the background in terms of potential debt relief and a potential Greek deal as well. So given the thrust in the European markets, it certainly does confirm a potential pivot low. Although again, how many times have we seen this narrative where we get a deal, hopium, and all of a sudden all hope is dashed and the markets reverse and make a new low. So this is why it's very hard to swing trade right now. I mean, in my swing trading service as well, I called it quits today for the week because it's very hard. I mean, you one hand you're bullish, all of a sudden there's a bias chain, next minute there's a bias chain, next minute there's a bias chain, next minute there's a bias chain. I mean, on the one hand the statement's made and the counter statement's made, then it's denied and then it's accepted and so on and so forth. So it's very hard to obviously come up with a position in terms of fundamental trading. Okay, and also with regards to Chinese markets, now you have Greece and China, so you have the Greek saga and the contagion concerns there, and also with regards to China as well, obviously given the fact that his market has plummeted quite substantially. If I bring up a chart of the Shanghai and again show you, and you can certainly see for yourself, I mean, one hell of a sell-off. On a weekly chart, very, very substantial sell-off up to the 50 MA, and then obviously managed to bounce off the 50 MA. So it does look like on the weekly chart we are seeing a potential pivot being made. Also the 200 MA on the Shanghai certainly is holding up well, and that obviously has given a base for the market to propel higher. Okay, so certainly an impressive sell-off and impressive thrust as well. Also given the fact that the HNS formation has completed in the Shanghai, so therefore one would naturally assume, given the fact that there's government intervention now, that we are going to see some stability in the Chinese market, which in turn should provide stability in the actual European markets as well. Okay, that's the situation that we obviously are currently dealing with. Now, there is, with regards to the latest news flow at present, I mean, Greece Tsipras calls party meeting for Friday, told government to be ready for potential compromise. So certainly looking towards a deal, and given the fact that the news regarding the deal has certainly come out. Also, in terms of fundamentals, the actual US Fed members have been talking about a potential a delay in their rate hike, given the fact that you've got Greece and China concerns as of late, so that obviously will exacerbate the situation. So again, that's a potential bullish scenario given the fact that interest rates are being pushed back. Okay, so that certainly is a summation of the events. Now, in terms of economic data, the German data obviously I've already explained was strong. The unemployment rate in Europe certainly did tick lower, and the consumer prices actually came out slightly stronger than expected in terms of the consumer prices. Now, BOE asset purchases and rate decision kept flat. Initial jobless claims and jobless data did come out actually weaker than expected, so that was a potential negative sentiment, negative bias on the market from that perspective. Okay, so again, that certainly helps the actual dollar to move lower, given the fact that there's a potential rate hike delay, plus the data actually came out weaker than expected on the jobs, in terms of the jobs front. So certainly the euro should be looking to stabilize and move higher, along with the Kiwi and the potential Aussie as well, which in turn should help the FTSE 100 certainly propel higher too. Okay, now with regards to the fundamentals, I've obviously discussed that. Let's have a look at the European markets in terms of its technicals now. So let's bring up the German DAX first of all. Okay, so German DAX, as you can see in a 10-minute, we thrust higher, and the market just can continue to rally. The unfilled gap remains open at 11,050, so that certainly is a potential target for the German DAX. The 60-minute chart, let's just bring that up for you. Okay, 60-minute chart certainly is coming into potential resistance we've seen at 11,000. Okay, but we are looking at an unfilled gap above at 11,050, then obviously 200 MA at 11,130. Given the fact that we are talking about a potential Greek deal, again that certainly is a possibility. So again, certainly keep an eye out for that in terms of the markets. Obviously, potentially short squeezing higher on that information. So the daily chart of the German DAX. Bring that up for you. So the daily chart itself, obviously we've held at 200 MA, so it was all about touching that 200 MA. Downward sloping trend line certainly held. We've obviously broken out that bearish engulfing candle, which is obviously bullish, and now the 11,400 level certainly is on the cards from my perspective, especially given the fact that BMW data was stronger than expected, and obviously imports and exports out of Germany today were very, very impressive, and the overall trade data was strong. So that certainly does lead to the way of a potential move higher, especially given the fact that the euro now is currently under 1.1. It's currently trading at 1.0996. So again, that's a potential bullish case scenario. Now let's have a look at its peers. So the French CAC. Let's bring up the French CAC now. Okay, so the French CAC on a 10-minute chart, certainly an impressive thrust higher. Did find resistance in this zone here at 4770. You have the unfilled gap above at 4810 region, so that certainly needs to be closed, and the bias certainly remains positive at this current juncture. Now the 60-minute chart, bring up the 60-minute chart, give you an insight there as well with regards to French CAC. You have the unfilled gap above, which is currently seen around the 4820 level. You have 200 MA above, 4855, 4860. And then you have the resistance here at the 4930 level, and then obviously unfilled gap above. So we've certainly broken out the downtrend here, and very, very impressively as well. Okay, so the next chart I want to show you is the Euro stocks. The Euro stocks themselves, 10-minute chart, again very impressive thrust. Although we have actually hit the inverted head and shoulders target, but given the fact that this deal is currently being worked on, then you are looking for a potential gap fill at 3440 and potentially even higher, given the fact that we have put in a potential pivot low into the European indices. Now the 60-minute chart, I'll just bring up the 60-minute chart on the Euro stocks and certainly be able to show you here as well. Obviously you have this gap fill resistance at 3440 that needs to close, but given the fact that we have again, like I said, broken out of this downtrend. So if I just connect these lows here, you can clearly see we've broken out this downtrend, and you are looking to potentially fill the gap above. Okay, now bring up the daily chart of the Euro stocks, and you are looking at a potential pivot low being put in as well, and then looking for a thrust higher, given the fact that we've broken out of the previous resistance equals support. So we've broken out this bearish engulfing candle, and the bulls certainly are in control. You are looking at gap fill first of all, and then obviously a potential gap fill above at 3600 certainly is on the cards too. Let's bring up the pivots here. Okay, so it's connecting the pivots together. Okay, yes, so certainly I've broken out. Okay, so I am looking for a potential thrust higher on the European indices. Okay, and again a Greek deal as a Greek deal approaches. Now the FTSE 100, let's bring up the chart, the FTSE 100. In the weekly chart, well, we already seen the weekly, so let's go to the daily chart, show you what's happening with regards to the daily. We have a breakout here, so we've broken out of the bearish engulfing candle, which is pretty impressive, and we are looking to potentially mount a attack on 6630, potentially up to 6740 to test the upper channel resistance from my perspective. The 60-minute chart on the FTSE 100, let's bring that up for you too. Okay, so 60-minute chart, as you can see again, we have broken out this lower lows and lower highs concept. Now we are looking for a potential break here as well. There was an inverted head and shoulders target, and that target certainly seems to be have been hit. So you're looking at your left shoulder there, and you're looking at your head over here, looking for a right shoulder here, and then off you go. So your pivot low is 6430, your pivot high is 6530. So you're looking at a potential 100-point swing. So you're looking at 6630 resistance on the upside. So you do certainly have way as more to go on the upside in terms of the markets moving higher. So we are looking for a potential move higher to 6630 on the 60-minute chart. Now the 10-minute chart, bring that up for you. Just give you an insight on the 10-minute chart as well. Okay, so the 10-minute chart itself has held gap fill resistance for now. Well, given the Greek deal, it certainly has the probability and possibility of certainly propelling and moving higher. Okay, so we do have resistance above around the 6640 level. You have resistance here at the 6610 level, and then you have resistance here again around the 6620 region. Okay, so again these are all areas of potential resistance, and certainly keep an eye out for them. But the inverted head and shoulders target has been hit, and we did get a flush once it was hit quite substantially to the downside. Okay, I think that's a wrap. Only one that I would like to also bring in here is a FTSE 250. Before we go, the weekly chart, like I said, we have broken out that bullish channel, but the daily chart certainly does bode well in terms of potential support. So just bring this up for you. Okay, so yes, we've obviously moved lower. We are below the neckline on the H&S formation, so that's something certainly to be mindful of. Okay, but having said that, it is into horizontal support. We did have quite an impressive thrust higher, so one would argue that you can certainly move higher here too. Now the FTSE All Share, again, this is another index. It certainly is bouncing for now, but innocent until proven guilty. Whether it can put in a bullish engulfing and put in a higher high, and then we certainly have game on in terms of the bullish scenario. Okay, so that's certainly where we are set in terms of the technical picture for European indices. Okay folks, goodbye now, and like I said, please be sure to visit the website www.cfds.com for all your obviously brokering needs. You also have the educational page www.cfds.education to certainly learn from. Goodbye now.